Welcome to part 4 of your quantum walk. I'm Tiffany Carter. Over 15 years, I've helped more than 150,000 people transform their businesses, wealth, and relationship with money by combining neuroscience, identity work, manifestation, and proven strategy. And during our time together over these 7 days, I will be your guide for you having the biggest quantum jump of your life during this powerful fire horse year. The focus of this part is training, because a horse isn't trained in a day. Trust isn't built in a day. Identity isn't built in a day. It's built through repetition, through consistency, through showing up again and again until your actions and your intentions finally start moving in the same direction. So the goal here isn't to control the horse. That's not what real training is about. The goal is to become someone the horse trusts enough to follow. What we're doing is teaching your subconscious that this time you're actually going to go where you say you're going. You're going to follow through. You're going to do what you say that you're going to do. It's really happening because you've had many years, maybe even decades, of saying, I want this and I'm going to do this and this is what I'm going to do in the new year and this is what I'm going to do next month and I'm going to start the business. I'm going to take my business to this level. I'm going to move and do this thing. I'm going to leave this person, whatever it may be. And then you didn't, or you half-assed it, or you made up some excuse, some story, or you let fear win. And I'm not saying any of that for you to go into shame. It's for you to acknowledge and admit what you've done. Just as if someone has betrayed you in your life, you don't want to have some half-ass apology like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Our true amends is when someone's behavior changes. An apology means very little to most people. It's a nice start, but if someone says they're sorry and they keep doing the same thing over and over again, it doesn't matter. That's called betrayal. It's called abandonment. It's called bullshitting. And there's areas of your life where you've been doing it to yourself, and we all do it. Some less than others. Some have done this kind of work, so it's not often, or they catch themselves. They have people like myself to have the guardrails and the blinders on to keep them focused, to prevent them from going off the rails. This is why I have people that I pay in order to keep me in line, because I can't pretend that I can do it myself or see what I can see. There's a reason we have a subconscious, and there's subconscious sabotaging behaviors. Haven't you spoken to a friend, or maybe it's a client? Could even be a coworker, could even be your partner or a family member. And they're telling you a story. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, and I don't know why this or that, or why I can't make money at this, or why I can't attract this type of person. And it's glaring to you why. And either they didn't ask for your advice, so you're not telling them, or it's not appropriate to give it to them, or they won't be able to hear it and they'll get nasty and defensive, so you're not going to say anything. Well, part of why you were led here is because you're ready to hear some of these harder truths about yourself so that you can get to where you want to go. Likely, and likely also subconsciously, you've surrounded yourself by people who either aren't awake enough or emotionally attuned enough or feel securely attached enough to be able to point things out to you. They just might not have that training to be able to do that. They might even be too close to it because they project their own stuff. and you have all these people around you and you can't see what you can't see, and there's no one that's there that's willing to point it out to you. And you've done that subconsciously. Some of you may have done it even consciously. There's a saying we use here in Hollywood, which is you have too many yes people around you. And when I'm coaching my highly established entrepreneurs who are making, 7, 8, 9 figures, and they're at a sticking point and they're at a crossroads and they're in this liminal phase in between identities, because how much money you have in the bank and how much success doesn't make it so you don't go through these things. We all have different levels at different stages that show up in different ways for all of us, and they're all painful in their own way. Even when you have so many things externally, you have the riches, you have support and all that, it can take a form where it's painful in a different way, because it's all relative to that person. It doesn't take away from how that feels to them. But a lot of what I have to say to these people is, you have a lot of yes people around you, and I want to acknowledge and commend you for feeling vulnerable enough and humble enough to hire me. That's why I've taken you on as a client. That's why I'm by application only for both of my businesses. Because if someone is not at a point where they are humble, open, and willing to have their truths about themselves exposed and looked at in order to release them, in order to navigate them, I cannot help you. And it won't work. You'll revert back. But you wouldn't be on part 4 of our journey together, of your quantum walk, if it wasn't time for you to do this, where you can handle it. There's some things you do kind of know. You've kind of low-key called yourself out on it. Maybe you've fully called yourself out on it, or maybe you've had it called out on you, but then you stuffed it again and you still kept doing it. It's really interesting what we do, and we can really think we're trying all the things and I'm doing everything and nothing is working, but I'm a good person and I'm this and that. And you can't see it because you're too close to it. And we're also not meant to do this alone. Do you think this fire horse is meant to do this alone? To be in this important of a race, so to speak? No, it needs a jockey. It needs the training. It needs to feel safe. It needs to be able to trust you. If it doesn't trust you, it is certainly not going to behave and do what you need it to do. And if it doesn't trust you, it's going to feel unsafe to be able to fully unleash in order to fully go out at full blast, full potential. This is the kind of stuff that you see with elite, top tier athletes and top tier people in their field. Is this kind of work. They make sure that they have the support that's around them in order that they trust in order to be able to unleash. But then there's some people who have a lot of success, but then they start sabotaging all of it and squandering all of it, and they are oblivious to it, yet they subconsciously set themselves up to have yes people all around them. People who will tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. People who pacify them. People who really only care about the money, or really don't fully care about them at all. They just want the proximity or whatever they can get from you. And it's not worth their time or energy or money to tell you. And it can be people you hire. Or you surround yourself with people who aren't fully qualified to take your business, take your dream where you want it to go. And you avoid hiring the people that you know could, because, oh, well, I'll do that once I have more money. I'll do that once I'm further along. I'll do that when. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Okay? The goal here is not for you to force the horse. The goal here is for the horse to naturally want to follow you. We're teaching it. Training is repetition. That is what training is with anything. How do you get better and better at anything? Whether it's me teaching you an income generating skill, whether it's us here on this walk together. The reason this isn't a one-day walk, and this is some quick fix, and this is all you need, and any of that kind of marketing, yeah, it gets a lot of people to sign up. It might get people to listen to the thing, but it also doesn't work. And you've fallen for that stuff too, because you were looking for the path of least resistance yourself. But you've left that behind. That's your old identity who is only looking for the easy way, the quick way. I want the trick. I want the hack. I want to avoid all the pain. I want to know how to be able to do this without showing my face. I want to know how to be able to have passive streams of income without having to do any active income first. I want to be able to get from A to T in 30 days. Where does that exist in life? Where's the training in that? The next identity is not created by one breakthrough on this walking journey. It's created by repeated direction. The horse does not trust your words. It trusts your consistency. You've been told a lot of different things from a lot of people. It's all talk. That's nice, okay? It's a start. But none of it matters if there's not follow through, if the actions and words don't match, and then if there's not consistency on those actions. You know, I'll show up for you when I feel like it. I'll show up for you when it's convenient. I'll show up for you sometimes. I'll show up for you when I've slept well. I'll show up for you when I'm not afraid. I'll show up for you when I feel abundant. I'll show up for you when I have money coming in, when my engagement is good. That's when I'll show up for you. That's what you're saying to your horse. What have you been saying to your horse? I'll show up for you when. We need to admit it and acknowledge it as a start. I'll show up for you when it feels comfortable. I'll show up for you as long as. I do a lot of as long as contingency plan stuff. I'll show up for you as long as I know I'm safe, as long as I see that it's working, as long as it doesn't cost me too much money, as long as I don't have to sacrifice too much of this. And that, oh, okay. Well, someone was saying that to you. How would that feel? Would you want to follow them? Would you want to be led by them? Would that make you feel safe and secure? This is why telling yourself you're a certain identity now isn't going to cut it. I'm wealthy. I'm confident being visible. I'm abundant. Because if your actions tell a different story, your subconscious is not going to believe those declarations. Now you're a person who's just all talk. It believes evidence. So you as the jockey has to repeatedly show the fire horse, this is where we're going now. This is where we're going now. I'm not picking that up again, and this is where we're going now. This is you showing up regardless for this series. Have you started to already not show up for this series? Or have you prioritized it? Or did you catch yourself? You started to make excuses and started, getting off track and doing something else. And then you caught yourself. That's great that you caught yourself. That's progress that you caught yourself. I'm thrilled that you caught yourself. What do you need to say to your horse? about your past behavior and what you were training it. And remember, the I'm sorry is a start, but the horse isn't going to trust that. But I think it's a good start by you saying you're sorry. It's more so for yourself to acknowledge it. I'm sorry I betrayed you. I'm sorry I betrayed your trust when I do blank. I want you to say that. Speak to your horse. It doesn't matter if you're walking outside. Say it out loud. Whisper it. Because they've been abandoned by you. And here's why you've been held back from your quantum jump is likely you've broken trust with yourself. That's why you feel like you're incapable of doing something, of not following through, of setting goals and quitting them, making promises and breaking them, known what to do and then delayed it, not taking a risk and betting on yourself, even though you said you would. So what have you taught yourself? That you don't, I'm the type of, that says I'm the type of person who doesn't follow through. I'm the type of person who can't do it, and we're not going to be that anymore. This is the part of the walk where it changes. What promise to yourself needs to now be honored? What is a repetitive action that would rebuild self-trust today? What would consistency look like instead of intensity? Not all or nothing, all in, all out. That's not what the horse is looking for. That's not what you want either. You've also had people like that in your life, haven't you? Who were all in and were so great, and then they abandon, and then they're a completely different person. And it recreates the abandonment over and over again. And what does it do with trust? It erodes trust. It teaches you this person is inconsistent. This person doesn't follow through. You never know what you're going to get. What have you taught your horse about you? What we don't acknowledge, we can't change. So many people try to dominate themselves into transformation, like pure self-will. I'm going to do this, and this is going to happen on Monday. And it can give you a temporary sense of dopamine, a nice surge. But then ultimately, when you don't get the results when you want, how you want them, as fast as you want them, in the way that you want them, because you're being dependent on external factors and signs and all sorts of things in order for you to keep going, versus having faith, versus it being who you are, really. Because when something is who you are, you're going to do it regardless of what the outside circumstances are. Regardless of how much money I have coming in either of my businesses, when I say I'm going to do something, I always fucking do it. And if I miss the boat on doing it because something happened, I got, sick, sidetracked, I shit the bed on it, I'm a human being, I own up to it and make right by it. That's why I trust myself to always get to where I want to go. But I wasn't always that way. You can retrain yourself at any time, just like a relationship can be repaired. Some are harder to repair when you've spent a long time betraying yourself over and over again. You have to give patience to the horse of why it is not listening to you and why it's not going as smoothly where you want it to go or as fast as you want it to go. Well, why would it? It needs a beat. It needs repetition to build trust with you. What is your new commitment to building trust with your fire horse? And not overnight, over time. That's how trust is truly built anyway. Anything built overnight is a scam. And we're not about that life. What is it? You've heard me say a few times during our quantum walk together about showing up regardless. Do you show up regardless for the life that you want, the life that you're walking towards, what you and your horse are walking towards? Or are you only showing up when you feel like it, when it's convenient, when you have the energy, when you don't have a bunch of drama going on? Or do you find a way to show up regardless on any given time, on any given day, in any given energy? Do you want it that badly? Because if you want it that badly, that's what's required. You have to be able to be willing to be uncomfortable. Do you want the horse to still ride when it's pouring rain? Do you want the horse to ride when it's really hot out or really cold? Or only the horse is only going to go when all the conditions are perfect? Now, how do you think that's going to work out? Are you telling the horse we need to wait until there's perfect conditions of complete certainty, and then I'll let you go, and then I expect you to run as fast as a Kentucky Derby horse and then some? Wow. Well, that is some wild expectations that you're putting on it. You want it to wait, not build any muscle, not build any reps, and keep waiting for perfect conditions, but then those conditions keep changing, and then it can go, but it has had no practice on moving, on going, and its muscles have atrophied, and it doesn't even know the direction, and it doesn't even have the gait to go. And it's even kind of lost its zest for going because it's been held back for so long that it's kind of like not as interested. You see how that's working or not working? Let's make a commitment, a new one, not a promise, not a proclamation. You've broken enough promises. Proclamations are just word salad. Let's make a grounded commitment, not 25, even just one. What is your commitment to your fire horse? What is your commitment from now on, going forward, till the end of your time here, of how you're going to show up regardless of external circumstances, regardless of reward, regardless of praise, regardless of money, regardless of accolades, regardless of opportunity, regardless of signs of proof that it's working? You show up this way because it's just who you are. It's the type of person that you are. And you know when you show up at this person, as this person, on repeat, it is bound to get you to your destination. We don't know when, but it's bound to get you there. You not showing up as this type of person is an actual guarantee you won't get there. Wouldn't you rather stack the odds heavily in your favor of getting there, of getting to this place and being this type of person that you're proud of, that you wake up in the morning and you go to bed at night knowing, I truly did do my best today. I stretched myself today. Don't you want the people around you to see that? and feel that. I love knowing that people come to me and they come back to me. There's a reason why 91% of people who buy something from either my businesses, hire us, buy from us, come back. It's not just because we have great customer support and my stuff is great and it works. It's because in a sea of bullshit and flakiness out in the world and fractured identities, I make sure my actions and my words always match, regardless. And let me tell you, sometimes I would make a lot more money if they didn't match. But I don't care. I'm not willing to do that. That's the type of thing I'm talking about here, where your horse will always follow you because it knows what it's going to get and it knows it can trust you to take it through the toughest storms, the most uncomfortable periods, the exhausting parts of the race, the long hallway where it feels like it's never ending and there's not a destination in sight. I want you to put your hand on your horse. Take a deep breath and say, I'm committing this to you right now. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for giving me another chance to allow me to guide you. I won't let you down. But only do it if you mean it. In a grounded, assuring manner. And you can feel the difference in your body. The horse can feel the difference. How is your horse feeling now? How are you feeling in doing that? In a different way, not out of shame, not out of pressure, not out of guilt, out of conviction. Because this really is who you are. Part of a quantum jump is you're being called back to who you were in the first place that you got detached from. It's pretty wild when you think about it. There's so many distractions and detours, especially if you're not aware of this stuff. Think of how much further and faster you're going to get to that life that you want and how you want to feel, with knowing there's this unwavering trust between you and the fire horse. That's unstoppable, right? You deserve to have that. You show up and follow through for so many other people. It's time to give yourself that same energy, that same commitment. Hence why I named this brand ProjectME. You're the most exceptional project of your life, not other people, not even your own children. You are. And on this journey, you're reclaiming that and owning that without feeling like there's something wrong with that. Everything is right about that. Damn straight, ProjectME. Project motherfucking me. Now you can go do the part 4 of the Fire Horse Identity Journal exercises. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/Fire Horse Walk if you've not gotten it. You can do it digitally. You can print it. Whatever delights you the most. I personally like printing things and putting them in a fun binder and using different colored markers, and I love all the office supplies, and it makes my inner child happy. And if you want to take this to another level of commitment, another level of action, I highly recommend as a next phase here for you to focus on repairing and rebuilding your relationship with money, success, and visibility with my landmark 7-day program, Make More Work Less. And I have it on special for my quantum walkers right now at ProjectMeWithTiffany.com/special offer. You can swipe up. I've put that along with your identity journal inside the show notes for you. You can get it on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, also in the description here on YouTube. Make a move that shows your horse. See, we're doing something different. We're committing. We're following through. We're doing the reps no matter what. We're taking the action, even though it would feel easier to slough off and to get distracted and to make excuses and not to. But that's not going to get us to where we want to go. And I deserve to have that life that I desire. And I'm willing to be disciplined enough and even temporarily uncomfortable enough in order to get to that destination, because that's all part of it. Love you so much.